this story actually did begin with a cat and a hammock. so go and rewind a little bit. One of the things that that we've had more time of during quarantine is the fact that Carolyn and I are both not at work all day. So I'm at home, I do work at my laptop computer, and then I'm able to go outside, and I can sit outside and I can work for a while. And Jazz, who likes, coming in and out throughout the course of the day. But if we're at work all day, we don't want to leave him out all day. And we just decided we don't want to get one of the cat doors that allows him to go in and out whenever he wants. So he's had a lot more freedom going in and out of the house for the last couple months. But one of the projects I've been working on for a while was getting him comfortable just sitting in our hammock outside. So we've been kind of practicing putting him in the hammock, giving him a treat, letting him sit there. And today was the first day that we actually had a moment where I kind of took him outside and I put him in the hammock, and then I started doing some other stuff. And then I went inside and I was working on something. And then a little while later, I went to go back outside and he was still just sitting there chilling in the hammock. So I'll post some pictures maybe to Instagram for you guys to see it. It was pretty cute. But today on Restless, we've got some stuff in store. But one of the things I've been doing is I've been trying to make phone calls to students and just hang out and chat for a little bit. So if you guys are on here and you'd be interested in getting a phone call one of these afternoons next week, go ahead and send me an email, richard@rbcpc.org, and get me your phone number and we can schedule a time. And like I said, during quarantine, I'm kind of at home all day, every day, except for those couple times where I'm allowed to go, where we go to the pool. So I'm able to go swimming periodically, and then I go for walks. And one of the things I do while I walk is I've been talking with students. So if you'd like a phone call, I'd love to schedule one with you and just hang out and talk. But one of the things that came up, and I was talking with Ryan Yount yesterday on the phone, and one of the things we were talking about is we're at the point now where we've been at home so long where some of the things that like we were really, really excited about being able to do, like binge watching Netflix when we first started, it's like, oh, I can catch up on that show, or, oh, I can just sit at home and play video games all day. And now we're starting to get to the point where, we've kind of binge watch all the shows, and now we're watching some obscure shows. And because the production companies haven't been making as much stuff either, there's not a whole lot coming down the pipeline. So we're in this situation where some people, like those things like that we were looking forward to when quarantine first started, aren't really as much fun as when we first began. So for those of you guys that have been playing Mario Super Smash Brothers, right? That was one of the things that Ryan was talking about, is like, yeah, for the first month, so we were playing Super Smash Brothers all the time. Like my family'd stay up late, we'd play Super Smash Brothers. And he's like, but now it's like, somebody comes like, hey, you want to play Super Smash Brothers? Like, no, I think I'm good. I've had enough. But I wanted to show it to you, but right before we started, it actually shut down. Is my best friend built us a video game emulator, which basically we can play old video games on the TV. So I'm gonna pull it up really quick and show you guys some of the games we've been able to play, are like things on the Super Nintendo from way back in the day. But yeah, so I'm able to put it up on here, and I've got a controller. Maybe next week I'll show you guys you guys can watch me play some like Ninja Turtles or something. And it's pretty sweet. But it's one of those things where kind of at this point, we're not like, it's cool to have it, but it's like the other night Carolyn was working in the evening and I was like, oh, maybe I'll play some video games. And after like 30 minutes of doing it by myself, it's just like, I've had enough of this. This isn't as much fun as I remembered it being when we first started. But sorry about that. But one of the things that we really enjoy doing is on Tuesday nights, my friend set it up where we can play with each other on that thing. So when we all get together, he puts his kids to bed. He has 2 young children. He puts his kids to bed, and then we all get on a WhatsApp phone call, and we'll talk on the phone while playing video games. And it's a totally different experience. Totally different experience. We have so much fun. We laugh, and then we'll be like, oh my gosh, it's 10 o'clock already. We need to get going. Because one of my friend, well, actually both of them, but one of them's in a critical job. So he has to go to work every day at like 7:00. So he has to be out the door. So we don't play super late, but it is something that's kind of one of those things that, when you're just doing it by yourself, it's not a whole lot of fun. But when you're doing it as part of a community, it becomes a whole lot better. So I'm excited that we have this community where we can get together, where you guys can throw stuff into the chat and we can talk. And I'm glad you guys are here. So yeah, Aiden, I saw you put in a chat saying you're hi. So hi, thanks for coming. Cole, glad you're here. Welcome back from South Carolina, North Carolina. Hope you had a good trip. So fun thing for today is not today, but Sunday is actually my mom's birthday. So you guys see Marty in the chat room where it says Marty. If you want to wish Marty happy birthday, it's her birthday on Sunday. So my mom and her friends, when they turned 50, they started counting backwards. So we're now at the point where my mom and I are almost the same age because she's counting backwards, and we're going to cross paths somewhere. But in honor of my mom and in honor of it being her birthday, I've got a great game for us to play. It's called Mother Knows Best. So the way this game works is we're going to ask some questions. So we got questions up here. I'll scoot over a little bit. Let's get this guy over a little bit. So the way this game is going to work is we're going to put up questions up here that are common. These are called like mother's tales or things like that moms have told us growing up, and we're going to see whether or not they're actually true or not. So like the one that came to my mind was when I was thinking of questions like this was, how like when you're a kid, they always tell you don't swallow the watermelon seeds or else you'll grow a watermelon in your stomach, right? So all of us were making sure we didn't eat the watermelon seeds because we didn't want a watermelon growing inside of us. So for those of you guys that were the kids that intentionally, when you heard that, ate the watermelon seeds to see if you could grow a watermelon. I almost said pumpkin. Yeah, that's not how it works. You can't swallow watermelon seeds and grow a pumpkin. But yeah, the whole idea of these are things that we get told growing up, and then we have that moment of I'm not sure if that was really true, right? So I'm not gonna say it on the screen, but there's one story that my mom told me, and I don't know if it's true, but now that I'm in my 30s, I'm afraid to ask her if it's true or not because I don't want her to be able to go, ha, gotcha. So it's I'm not gonna do it on the screen, but Mom, you can ask me later, and we can talk about that one maybe when we do your Zoom birthday session of whether or not what you told me was actually the truth or if you were just busting my chops. So here we go. Happy birthday, Mom. This game is inspired by you. So this game is called Mother Knows Best, and the way it works is we're going to put up questions, and then we're going to just talk about whether we think it's true or false. So first one, you guys can see it's been up there for a while. Eating chocolate causes acne. Okay, right. So some of the things that moms would say, they don't want the kids to eat too much chocolate, especially kids that are getting older that are self-conscious of their image. And they would say things like, if you eat too much chocolate, it'll cause acne. So what do you guys think? These are all just going to be true or false questions. You can put your guesses in the comment section. Do you guys think that eating chocolate causes acne? Do you think that's just something moms made up so we wouldn't eat so much chocolate? Or do you think that is true? Do you think that eating chocolate causes acne? So I do know like a lot of chocolate has oils in it. And I know oil on your skin is one of those things that can cause acne. But I also think that the reality of it is not too much. I know you're not rubbing the chocolate on your face. So maybe you are. Maybe you eat really aggressively. I don't know. But do you guys think that eating chocolate causes acne? So you guys can go ahead and put your guesses in there. We've got some trues. We've got some false. I was with you, Nolan. I thought this one was true, but turns out it is false. And after I thought about this one for a little bit, and I said true, but then after I saw the answer, I said, I guess that makes sense because my mom, my wife, and my mother-in-law, all three eat a lot of chocolate. Like they love it. Like we try not to keep it in the house because it disappears. But we've got this situation. So I assume they all have really nice skin. So in hindsight, I was like, I should have known that it doesn't cause acne. But so it's a mother's tale, right? Mothers were just trying to get us to not eat so much chocolate. So here we go. Next one. This is an interesting one. Eating cheese will give you odd dreams. Have you ever been eating cheese? And it's okay if your answer is no. Have you ever been eating cheese and somebody said, don't eat too much cheese or else you're going to have some weird dreams? No. But that's one of those things that moms would say. They would say, don't eat too much cheese or you're going to get weird dreams or bad dreams or odd dreams. So what do you guys think? Do you think if you eat a bunch of cheese that it could potentially give you some odd dreams? What do you guys think? I'm going to go with true just because I feel like there's a lot of work that goes into your body, like processing cheese. So I don't know. It's like maybe you like eat a bunch of cheese and then when you go to bed, your body's still like kind of thinking about digesting cheese and it's kind of messing with the way you sleep. So what do you guys think? Get your trues, get your falses in there. Okay, we got a handful of you guys giving your guesses. Excellent. It says we've got 9 of you guys watching right now, so I've only seen 5 answers. So anybody else that's watching, if you want to put an answer in there, go for it. Also, if you don't have your own YouTube channel, you're not able to make comments. So if you're watching this right now trying to figure out how to make comments, it might be because you haven't created your own channel, which is a really simple one-step process. So the answer for this one is, will eating cheese give you odd dreams? The answer is true. So I actually did some research on this one, and it was backed by science. But the interesting thing is, like, there's a lot more at play than like, oh, I'm going to have a little bit of cheese and it's going to give me dreams. It's like, it has to be like significant amounts of cheese. So probably like not enough, but it's another thing that, that they tell you to before bed is to drink warm milk if you're having trouble sleeping. So maybe the milk and the cheese have a similar impact there. So I don't know. You guys can leave comments about your opinions, or if you guys eat a whole bunch of cheese tonight, you can comment in the post after it goes not live and say whether or not you had weird dreams. So this next one is chicken soup will help you get better from a cold. So chicken soup will help you get better from a cold. So I know everybody here has heard this one. I'm pretty sure you guys have all probably heard this one. Chicken soup will help you get better from a cold. So do you guys think that this is true? I've always heard this. There was even a book series called Chicken Soup for the Soul, just saying like you have this and it's good for you. So what do you guys think? Do you think this is true? Do you think chicken soup will help you get better from a cold? So this one's interesting because this is kind of one of those ones that's kind of on the fence, but this one they actually listed it as false, not because it's not helpful for you, but it's because everything that's in chicken soup is helpful. So yes, chicken soup will help you recover from a cold. Chicken soup will help you get recovered from a cold, but it's not actually just like a magical chicken soup thing. It is what is chicken soup will help you get better from a cold. So one of the major things that happens when people get a cold is they kind of lose their appetite and they stop eating. So it's not as much that the chicken soup helps you get better from a cold, but it's satisfying, it's nutritious, it gets you a lot of electrolytes. Like if you're sick, they tell you should be drinking chicken broth because it's got a lot of salt and it tastes good, right? So it's not it's not explicitly that there's something magical about chicken soup that makes you get better. So this one is, if you'd said true, you are kind of right. Like chicken soup is helpful. Yeah. But there's nothing special about chicken soup. It's just the ingredients that make up chicken soup that are all helpful. So you get protein in your diet. It's usually got some vegetables. It's got some carbohydrates, and it's got a lot of salt, which are all things that people need when they have a cold. So that one, I'm going to go with either answer you guys put on that one. I'm going to go as valid. So everybody, I'm going to give you a pass on that one if you answered true and got it wrong. Here we go. I heard this one a lot, usually not from my mom, but from other moms, because I swim a lot. So it says, is it bad to eat before you swim, right? And my thing wasn't always it's bad to eat before you swim, but my thing was always like, we'd be at the pool and like we'd be eating and moms would say, you have to wait 30 minutes before swimming, right? You have to wait 30 minutes before swimming. So when you get told it is bad to eat before you swim, do you guys think that is true or false? And give your thoughts on that one. So I don't know how you guys feel about this one, but I could never wait. I was always like, I was that kid that like, they say you need to wait 30 minutes. And then like 20 seconds later, it's like, has it been 30 minutes yet? I was kind of that kid. So do you guys think that it is bad to eat before you swim? True or false? I was going to say, yeah, I'm kind of along the lines with you with this one on Amy. The answer is false. You can swim after eating. There's nothing wrong with swimming after eating, but a lot of it has to do with, yeah, exactly. Amy, your 2 points are definitely right on point with, there's 2 factors that would make a difference, is that if you're about to swim really, really, really hard and you ate a ton, yes, that might cause you to get sick. So is it bad if you eat before you swim? Not necessarily. Could it be bad if you ate before you swim? Potentially. So I think it comes down to, how much physical activity are you actually doing with swimming? Like, are you just sitting in a floaty chair in the pool? I don't think it's going to make a difference if you did that after eating, right? There's no difference there. But if you're about to swim a whole bunch of wind sprint laps in the pool, like if you went to swim practice immediately after dinner, it might not be the most comfortable thing. But I remember in growing up, I had a friend named Rob, and he would always go to Burger King and get like the biggest like Whopper meal right before soccer practice. And I had no idea how he did it. Like he was great at soccer, and he'd just eat this whole huge big meal, like fries, burger, Coke, and then he'd come and play soccer. I'm like, how are you not sick? So I guess it does affect some people differently as well. Okay, let's check out this next one. Okay, this one I found very interesting. It said, bananas increase your chances of having a boy. So the question is, and this is specifically referring to if you're pregnant. So like, Ryan, you're not going to change the chances of whether or not your future child would be a guy or a girl because you're eating a bunch of bananas now. No, that's not what this is about. This is just saying that they would say, like, people before they have kids, they say, oh, I want to have a girl or I want to have a boy. Do you guys think that this story that they would always tell is like, well, if you have bananas increase your chances of having a boy? Do you think that is true or false? So a funny one along this lines is when I was in high school, I played water polo. And one of the kids on our water polo team, when you swim a lot, when you're swimming competitively, one of the problems that people periodically run into is cramps. So getting muscle cramps. And when you get muscle cramps a lot, one of the good things that you can have in your diet is potassium. And bananas are really high in potassium. So one of the things that our coach talked to him about is like, hey, you're having a lot of cramps. You should try increasing the amount of bananas you eat because they have a lot of potassium. So he's like, okay. And then later on that year, he heard one of our other players say that he'd been taking a supplement that was a potassium tablet, right? So he just had a little pill that was like potassium supplement that he'd been taking. And Jacob just went nuts because he was so upset. He's like, I hate bananas. I've been eating like 3 or 4 bananas every single day to stop getting cramps. And you're telling me I could have just been taking a pill? I hate bananas. So that's my funny banana story. But the question is, do bananas increase your chances of having a boy? We've already talked about they may decrease your chances of getting cramps while playing competitive sports. So we got false, true, false, false, false. So quite a few falses on this one. I looked this one up on the internet. Okay, and it says true. Okay, so a little background on this one, because this is kind of weird, is that they said that they're not exactly positive if it was the bananas in this test that increased the outcome. So basically they did this test where they talked to a whole bunch of women who, while they were pregnant, and talk about their diet, talked about what they were eating before they were pregnant. And they found the women that had eaten bananas also had an average of 180 calorie increase over the women who had daughters on average, like, so total. So they're saying the women who had boys had 180 calories a day more than the women who had a girl. And then their logic is, well, there's 180 calories in a banana. So they're saying, okay, potentially eating a banana a day may increase the chance of you having a boy. Once again, it sounds like some shady science to me. It sounds like somebody that was trying to use data to prove their point. But according to the internet, bananas increase your chances of having a boy. So if you guys want to dispute that, go ahead. Be my guest. I don't mind. I'm not going to defend it with any aggression or fervor. But apparently, if someday you become pregnant and you want to have a boy, if you eat more bananas, you might increase your chances. We have a good friend. My best friends growing up actually there were 4 boys, and the mom really wanted a girl. So bananas wouldn't have helped in her case. But after 4 boys, she's like, I can't risk getting a 5th boy. So they decided, no, we're not going to try to have another girl. So next one. Cracking your knuckles causes arthritis. Okay, so this is one that I've heard a lot. You know, you do the satisfying cracks. Some people can crack their necks. Some people can crack their backs. And it just feels good, right? It feels good. And I remember being told, 1, you're going to get arthritis. I remember you're going to develop these big, huge knuckles, right? So you hear all these things. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it is true or false that cracking your knuckles cause arthritis? Oh, Abby, welcome to the chat. Glad you're here. So we're playing a game that involves mother's questions. So these are mother's tales, things that our moms tell us growing up, whether or not true or false. Because my mother's birthday is on Sunday, so we're doing a little homage to my mom in our game today. So what do you guys think? Do you think cracking your knuckles causes arthritis? Yes or no? True or false? This was one that I was surprised by, because it's like, that's the whole point of this, is like, there's some things that we get told as kids and we just believe them into adulthood and we never really think twice about it. I kind of always just assumed this to be true, but turns out it's false. Cracking my knuckles does not increase my chances of developing arthritis. Kind of like, I love the what is it? The thing when you were growing up where your parents told you if you got too close to the TV, your eyes were going to stick permanently cross-eyed, right? Kind of like that. I always believed that. So it's kind of like, instead of the parent having to say, hey, you should move a little further away from the TV, they just tell you that. And then you're like, oh, I don't want to be cross-eyed forever. Unless you're the same kids that ate the watermelon seeds, and then you said, oh, I want to be cross-eyed forever, so you sat closer. Okay, got a couple more. Drinking warm milk makes you sleepy, right? So we talked about this one earlier. Along the cheese. Eating lots of cheese, or not, it didn't say lots of cheese. Eating cheese can give you odd dreams. So drinking warm milk makes you sleepy. So do you guys think that drinking warm milk makes you sleep better? So I know it's a very common thing for people to take some milk in a cup, put it in a microwave, and sip it before bed. It's a pretty common practice. So do you guys think that was something everybody's moms just told them growing up, so they assumed that it was true? Or do you think it was something that that actually was based on some truth and it works? So you guys think, what do you guys think? Drinking warm milk makes you sleepy. I personally enjoy, like in the late evening, like a caffeine-free tea with a little tiny bit of milk in it, kind of after 9 or 10 o'clock at night. It helps me like feel like my day is coming to an end and relax. So yeah, I do love a cold glass of milk too, Cole. So I can understand why you say you like your milk cold. But let's say someday you get older and you have a whole bunch of stress in your life and you're worried and you're having trouble sleep. Maybe drinking a cup of warm milk might help you go to sleep and help you chill out and help you go to bed. So the answer is true. So Abigail, Abby, I think it kind of goes along that lines of, yeah, it might not make you fall asleep, but it helps you to relax. And typically when you're having trouble sleeping, that's because you're not able to relax. So it is true that if you drink milk before bed, warm milk before bed, it helps you relax a little bit. It helps you get ready to go to bed. It helps you transition from that time. Maybe if your mind is racing and you're thinking about all sorts of things, maybe a warm glass of milk is all you need. Okay, here we go. This is along the lines of what I said earlier. Sitting too close to the TV will damage your eyes. Sitting too close to the TV will damage your eyes. The story I was told is like, if you sit too close to the TV while watching it, you're going to end up cross-eyed. So this is a little trick my sister taught me. She's better at doing it. I'll see if you guys can. You might not be able to tell from this far away, but my sister taught me how to do the thing with your eyes where you go cross-eyed and you're able to move them a little bit individually. So I'll come closer and see if you guys can see what I'm doing. Were you able to see? I'm not able to look at the screen when I do that. Can you guys even see my face, see my eyes when I was doing that? Maybe. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Because when I go that close to the camera, I can't tell if my face is actually being recorded. So you guys will have to let me know if I messed that up. But do you guys think that sitting too close to the TV will damage your eyes? So I didn't get this a whole lot for the TV, but I'm one of those people that always looks as closely as possible through the microwave. And I was always told that was going to like fry my brain. So you guys can be the judge of that. Did it fry my brain? Yes or no, true or false? No. So Cole, you said you read this in a book that it was a myth, that sitting too close to the TV will damage your eyes. So guys, go ahead and get your answers in there. The answer is false. So yes, Cole, the book you were reading with myths in it was correct. If you sit too close to the TV, it will not damage your eyes. But I don't know, just as a personal preference, I think you shouldn't sit too close to the TV. One, it obstructs other people's views. Two, it's unnecessary. So I don't know what the point is. I also think now times have changed because TVs have gotten so much bigger, right? I think when this story was first created by moms, I'm guessing the TV in the home was significantly smaller. It was the only screen, right? It wasn't like now where, I'm here and I've got TV screen, computer screen, iPad screen, right? So there's a lot of things for me to look at. But at the time, there was only one single screen, and it wasn't very big. So if the kids are all really close to the TV, right? You guys have seen all those commercials of old TV shows where it has the whole family huddled in front of the TV. I suspect that had a little bit of an impact, that if you have the kids that are looking really, really close to the TV, it also makes it so the parents can't see. Okay, here we go. This next one. If you go outside with wet hair, you will catch a cold. So if you go outside with wet hair, you will catch a cold. So this was an interesting one for those of you guys that knew or came and or watched the church chat last week. I talked a little bit about how I grew up in Singapore, and Singapore is right on the equator. Singapore is right on the equator, so it's warm all year. Like even while it's raining, it's still like 80 degrees outside. So when we moved to San Diego when I was in high school, it was the very first time I ever heard like, don't go outside while it's raining or you'll catch a cold. Because like in Singapore, even when it was raining, it was still hot outside. So that was never really an issue. So I was like 15 years old the first time I ever heard anybody like say like, hey, you shouldn't go out while it's raining because you're going to catch a cold. But the reality of it is that was never really an issue. So what do you guys think? Do you think going outside with wet hair, you will catch a cold? True or false? Get your answers in. Okay, I've got a true, false, 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 false. Okay, here we go. Well, you guys did pretty good on that one. If you go outside with wet hair, the old mother's tale said you would get a cold. That is false. You will not get a cold if you go outside with wet hair. So you're all in luck. Although in San Diego, I guess that's true. This isn't necessarily saying it's raining outside either. I just kind of assumed it was raining in the story, but it's just talking about you can't go out before you have to dry your hair before you go outside. And obviously that's not an issue. So here we go. This next one, this is the last one. It's the last one. Eating carrots will improve your eyesight. Eating carrots will improve your eyesight. So I know a lot of moms have said, eat your carrots. It'll make you, I was that kid. Like I thought eating carrots was going to give me like supervision. Like I was like, oh, I'm going to eat all these carrots and I'll be able to see through the walls. Right. No, didn't work that way. But I was told that if you eat your carrots, it'll improve your eyesight. Do you guys think this is true or false? Do you think there is truth to that? Do you think people that eat more carrots are going to improve their vision? Or do you think it's beneficial, or do you think it doesn't matter whether you eat carrots or not, you're going to have the same vision? So I'll give you guys a little more time to get your answers in as we transition. So we got false, true, 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 true. Ooh, quite a few. So give you guys a second to get your answer in. True. Okay, here we go. And the answer is true. So there you go. If you got anything out of today, you learned you need to eat your carrots. So fortunately, I love carrots, so that's not a problem for me. My dad is not a huge fan of carrots. He will eat them, but not out of preference. Given the options, he would choose something else, but he will eat carrots. So you guys did pretty good on that one. We had, I guess there's 10 of you watching live right now, and 8 of you put in a correct answer. So that's pretty good. You guys are smart. So that's it for today's game of Mother's Tales. So we learned some things that our mothers have been telling us that are true. We learned a couple other things that our mothers have been telling us that don't make any difference, right? So we've got a couple things there. But so one of the things the thing that I wanted to share with you about today that kind of I thought tied in well with this game is a lot of times we get told things enough times that we get to the point where we believe them to be true, right? And quite often we've done a couple sermon series on things where we talk about things that people assume that it says this in the Bible just because we hear it a lot at church, or we assume that it's in the Bible because we've heard somebody talk about it at church, but like it's not actually in the Bible, right? So one of the things that I was talking yesterday with one of our students, Ryan, and it just came up that the when we first started quarantine, right? This is all the way back in March. My mentality was, I just need to make it through these 2 weeks, right? Because we were basically told everything's going to shut down for 2 weeks. And we were kind of living our lives under the assumption that that means after that, everything was just going to return to normal, right? So we thought, okay, everything's closed down. There's no school for 2 weeks. We're going to stay home for 2 weeks. We're not going to go out. We're not going to see our friends for 2 weeks. And then suddenly we assumed that at the end of that, everything was going to go back to normal, right? And now 5 months later, we recognize, okay, that isn't the truth, right? That wasn't what was going to happen. And we had no way of knowing that. But my mentality was, okay, I just need to survive these 2 weeks and then I can go back to life as normal. But the reality of it is that's not the situation that we're under now, where we're still uncertain. A lot of things have not gone back to normal. A lot of us, like myself, that are immune compromised, like I have no idea how long I'm going to have to be staying home, right? And when our mentality is something like, I only need to make it 2 weeks, it's very different than I need to make it for months and months and months, right? So I am a pretty patient person, right? I'm pretty good at being patient. I'm pretty good at waiting, right? I'm that guy, like, and I think a lot of it has to do with, I have a pretty active like mind on my own. Like if I have to sit in the line at the DMV for an hour, like my mind will wander and I'll think of all sorts of random stuff. And like my mind can entertain itself. Some people need to be entertained. My mind is very self-entertaining. I am pretty self-entertaining. I don't need a whole lot of outside interaction to keep me entertained. But that's like the 2 week mentality, right? That's the, I can entertain myself for a while. I'll be okay, right? But then eventually it gets to the point where we have to change our mentality in order to survive in a long-term patient option. So the thing that people say a lot that they like, oh, that's in the Bible somewhere. It says good things come to those who wait, right? Good things come to those who wait, right? And like if I was to use this in a sentence and say like, oh, the Bible says good things come to those who wait, Colossians 4:19, like pretty much everybody be like, oh yeah, I know that's in there, right? But the reality of it is it doesn't say that in the Bible. It doesn't say that in the Bible. It talks a lot about patience. In Galatians chapter 5, Paul lists it as one of the fruits of the Spirit. So if we're living a life following God, like one of the fruit, they call it fruits, or one of the outcomes of having God in our life will be patience, right? But it doesn't necessarily say that good things will come to those who wait, right? And there's the really funny experiment that you guys may have seen, the marshmallow experiment, where they give these little kids a marshmallow and they say, okay, here's a marshmallow. If you hold this marshmallow and you don't eat any of it, I'll come back in 5 minutes and I'll give you another marshmallow. Or you can eat this marshmallow now, but you won't get another marshmallow later, right? And and you watch these kids wrestle with the concept of like, hey, if I'm impatient, I can get this right now. I'll get what I want. I'll get this marshmallow right now. But if I wait, I can have more, right? I can have something better. So, right. So the frequently attributed, but not actually from the Bible quote, it says good things come to those who wait, right? And that's not even, so first off, that's not from the Bible. Second off, that's not even the origin of that statement was actually all things come to those who wait, right? So originally it wasn't even good things. Originally it just said all things come to those who wait. And like listening to that, like that doesn't make a whole lot of sense in general. But the concept is that in this season, at first we had that mentality of, okay, if I'm patient right now, this will come to an end, right? I don't have to change the way I'm living my life 2 weeks from now. I only need to change the way I'm living my life right now. And some of you may have made some drastic changes in your life. Some of you may have made some minor changes in your life those first couple weeks. But as quarantine got stretched out further and further and further, and some of the things that we desire and find comfortable get stretched out further and further and further, it it just like, we realized, okay, what I was doing in that 2-week period isn't a long-term, we're not able to successfully sustain that for a long period of time. Right. So when I've started doing these phone calls, right, with students every week. So once again, if you guys want to get a phone call from me and chat during the week, either if you've got my number, shoot me a text and say, hey, I'd love to chat, or my email is richard@rbcbc.org. You can send me an email with your phone number and we can get that arranged. So in the afternoons, I've been scheduling time to talk to kids on the phone, and just that's one of the adjustments that I have had to make, because I'm having to live my life, even though I am still patient, but I have had to change some of the things in the way I do life. Because for me, I promise you, probably the longest phone call I had, we'll say the longest phone call I had in probably, we'll say 2019, was like, my average phone call would have been under 5 minutes. A long phone call would have been 15 minutes. Like 15 minutes would have been a really long phone call for me. But the reality of it is, in the past week, I've had multiple hour-plus long conversations, because I'm realizing that this is the best way for me to be connecting with people, right? Because before, I would make a phone call, my buddies and I, we would schedule a time to get together, and all the phone call was the opportunity for me to schedule to do something socially. But I've had to change my mentality to recognize the fact that making a phone call is a valuable form of connection for me right now, right? So I had to change my mentality, right? So coming back to the statement, it says, good things come to those who wait. The actual statement is, blessed are those who wait and trust in the Lord, right? And what that means is, it doesn't mean like, hey, if you're patient, you're going to get a bunch of stuff, right? A lot of times if you hear good things come to those who wait, it's like kind of the kid that's throwing the temper tantrum at the grocery store, right? And because they want that candy bar on the right, and you can kind of picture a mom going, well, good things come to those who wait. And it's like, okay, if you don't cry and complain about this later, you might get ice cream at home, or something like that, right? But the essence of the scriptures that it's talking about is, it's talking about timing, and the understanding that our timing and God's timing are different, right? And it's this concept that for us, what feels like an eternity, right? Being stuck at home for 5 months, we're like, this has been the worst. It feels like an eternity, right? This is a minuscule blip on the scheme of the eternity that God has in store, right? So the peace that we get, the patience that we're able to have amidst this, is not because we're able to say like, oh, everything's going to go back to normal, right? Give it 3 more months and it's going to feel like 2019 again, right? That's not what having patience means. Having patience means action now, right? We often think that patience means, okay, I'm just going to sit and do nothing, right? Being patient doesn't necessarily mean sitting here, okay, COVID go away, COVID go away, COVID go away, COVID go away. Like, right? That's not being patient. That's wasting time, right? The reality of it is, we need to use this season, and by exercising our patience, it means that we are waiting and believing that God is going to do a good thing amidst COVID. God can use our circumstances to draw us closer to Him, to deepen our relationship with others, to be a blessing in someone else's life. But sometimes we think being patient means doing nothing. But the reality of it is, being patient right now is trusting that God is in control, but then also choosing to use the time that we have to bless someone else, to go out and reach, whether that means, making a phone call to a friend, checking in on somebody. And right now people are struggling, right? Right now people are having a really hard time. People are mad. People are upset. People are hurting. And as Christians, we're able to say we're going to be patient through this. That doesn't mean that you're not bummed about the situation. That doesn't mean you don't miss your friends. But it means that instead of doing nothing and being patient, part of our patience is being able to go out and do something, right? And when I say go out and do something, I don't mean like go out the door and, break the rules. I mean, we're able to disengage from just ourselves, right? Because that was what COVID was about at first. It's like, okay, I want to take this time where I'm not allowed to be, and I'm going to work on myself, right? I'm going to, everybody was like, this is my new fitness routine. This is my new diet, COVID-19. I'm going to change who I am. I'm going to go out and the world's going to see, who is this person? They've totally changed. But the reality of it is, I think we're in a situation now where we need to take COVID from being, we are quarantining ourselves and working on ourselves, that amidst this season of patience, we're able to invest in the lives of others, right? Whether that's through making a phone call, even just being caring and loving with your friends. A huge thing about patience is a lot of you guys have had to spend a lot more time with your families than you have typically. And for those of you guys with younger brothers, maybe you wish that your parents hadn't eaten so many bananas while your mom was pregnant, right? No, the concept is life can be pretty hard right now. But as Christians, we have trust and hope, and we're able to be patient because of our faith in Jesus. So that's it for today on Restless. I hope you guys had a great time. Happy birthday, Mom. I've got my Nerf gun here ready to shoot out. So it's got my sign for when you feel frustrated. I am not frustrated right now, but that is it for this session of Restless. I'm going to see if I can't shoot out our camera. Nope, getting close. Oh, hit the same dart. Getting closer. Oh, one of these days. Last one. Nope, I'm empty. Shoot. I think we're going to be in quarantine for another couple months if I never shoot this darn camera out. I don't want to end quarantine without ever having been successful. So I'm close. So love you guys. I hope to see you soon. Say bye, Jazz. It's right there. Bye.